Hey everybody, this is Chris Render with Hardesty Homes. I'm going to do my buy and hold flip criteria spreadsheet. It's been many years, but this was my original specialty as I transitioned years ago from being an estimator for the Navy, where I estimated multi-million-dollar projects in detail. I took that knowledge and applied it to real estate. Had a lot of success and a large following of investors for many years. More recently, as the market changed, it's been pretty crazy with crazy appreciation that made it difficult to win and be safe and understand that we were going to be in a continue to be in such a crazy appreciating market. So many people were banking on appreciation, but I never like to do that. The numbers that I run have always been based off of comps, historic sold data. Over these last few years, they were increasing at like 2% per month or more. Sometimes it seemed. So list price typically reflects where the comps should sell, and some offers are going 50,000 plus over asking price. Finally, we're starting to see some stabilization in the market. Still some offers going over asking price, but I feel more confident to be able to start to do the buy and hold flip criteria spreadsheet that I used to. Here we go. I'm going to do just a quick rundown. This is the green highlighted properties here is the end result. These are the ones with flip potential. I'm going to try to do this every week. It does take an effort to set it all up, but once it gets going, it's not as manual as if you were to run individual comps for every property. So if anybody has interest in getting this list each week, I'm happy to provide it. I've got the properties with best flip potential and the ones with the best buy and hold potential. I'll walk through how I came about getting these numbers for those of you who are not familiar with my spreadsheet in just a moment, but this is based off of the entire CVR MLS. So we're talking over 1,000 properties at the moment. I'll expand this here so you can see, and so we can get an idea of what happens. You see how many of the properties here are at a lower percentage return or negative return. And this is just based off of the idea that the negative return properties are properties that are likely listed too high, and also accounting for my criteria that has an expense to it. So let me hop to that flip criteria right now. So I'm clicking down here to the flip sorting criteria. And then are we going to offer at asking price? Sometimes in this market, we've had to offer over asking price in order to get it. But let's say that we can offer at asking price. What do you anticipate your rehab cost to be? Well, this is the one area that I'm lacking right now. I used to have significant knowledge on repair estimates, and I haven't done a lot of flips recently. So I'm going off of my old data from a couple of years ago where I said $28 a square foot. And that number was based off of here. We would come up with individual costs like $1.75 per square foot to resurface floors, install LVP in kitchen, carpet, the list goes on. As I start to research more again, I can update these numbers, but it shouldn't really matter because this is a ratio. Overall, this is not going to be perfect. It's just going to give you some idea of what properties have potential. Now, getting back here, some more things I'm talking about is the eventual resale fee for commission. I'm saying 6%, 3% for buy side, 3% for list. How much in closing costs do you anticipate when you purchase the property? Sellers are starting to pay for some closing costs more recently, but it's still buyers are for the most part bringing their own closing costs. So if you want to adjust this, then we can possibly get some more properties by removing this. Anticipated seller concessions. So the seller concessions are what I was just talking about. Sellers are not giving concessions as much as what they were years ago. They were not at all a couple of years ago. More recently, there are some that are. So if you want to remove the 1%, you can do that. When you purchase the property, are you going to use cash or what kind of loan are you going to use to get the property? If you have a loan and there are interest rates on it, then this is where you would mark it. So a lot of the returns that we see go back to the property here, if you're doing a buy and hold, all of these are way too low. If you're looking for a buy and hold, that's going to be cash flowing. There's only going to be a very few handful. Pink highlighted property is the one. There you go. See that? It's 17% in Chesterfield, which is great. But then when you add in a loan to it at 8% or 9%, then you're only making 8 or 9%, which is still great, but it's rare that you're going to find a property that has that potential. And likely, if we check on the days on market, this one's likely underlisted. Let's go right here to days on market. Yeah, 8 days on market. So we'll have to look at that. That's actually on market a little longer than I anticipated for something that has that strong a potential. And again, my comps that I use to look at this, they're based off of per area. They're not per neighborhood, or they're not the typical tight radius of a quarter-mile tight radius. So I would reevaluate to make sure that this is accurate, but this one does stand out as having potential. So let's go back to my flip and sorting criteria. Anticipated real estate taxes, I said 1% of the sales price. Holding duration. So when you flip a property, it doesn't just happen immediately. You have to hold it, and you have associated holding costs. Typically, I'd say around 6 months. But if you have a team that can do it quicker, you might make an adjustment here. Your estimated monthly holding costs, it's different than what I have here. I would say $250. This may include lawn mowing, utility payments, cleaning costs, maybe. Estimated monthly insurance costs came up with 0.34%. It's been a while. I can't remember how I got that. And then the minimum profit for investors depends on your taste. If you can make less than 10%, then you're probably going to win more properties. But as an average, I would say most investors are targeting 10%. If you target 9.5%, maybe you're going to win more properties. So going back here to the hold. So there's flipping criteria, and then there's the hold for cash flow criteria. That's more of a buy and hold. Then I've got my long-term hold criteria here, which is going to be similar. I'll offer asking price. I anticipate my rehab cost to be $20. And then commission, same thing as the flipping criteria. Closing costs about 3%. Seller concessions, 3%. Hard money, if you have the hard money loan. And that's maybe part of the reason why I've got less buy and holds than I do flips, because I'm saying 5% here. But if I remove that and then go back to my properties, I should have a few more pinks that pop up here. Yeah, I see. There are, a few more down here. So we'll leave that off for now. And so going back to how I came up with a lot of this, my comps, I ran average rental costs per zip code. So not everywhere had data, but let's say a 1-bedroom in Ashland was $1,450 a month. A 2-bedroom in Ashland per the data was $1,269 per month. 3-bedroom, $1,811. 4-bedroom, $2,404. And this was all based off of rentometer.com, which is a pretty good resource. So if you want to double check a lot of this, you can go and do your own research on rentometer.com, and you should be coming up with similar numbers. Let's go to here. I'll show you the links and formulas that I have for the property. This is all data from MLS, all the way up to right here. To the right over here, here's where I've got the anticipated cost to rehab per square foot. Comes out to your total repair costs. But your agent commissions are here. These are all your expenses. So what you see up here are rehab costs, your agent expenses, your closing costs, seller concessions. If you have a loan or a hard money, then this is where that would go. Your estimated real estate taxes, holding costs, insurance, cleaning, repairs, utilities, yard, total projected profit. And so this is the same as what we saw back in column A. And then your actual numbers of your total projected profits, not just a percent, but like the dollar amount here in column AI. Your SS total, it's not really that important. And so I based all of this off. If you can see the formula up here, I ran individual comps and got a price per square foot as a median price per square foot for each area. I didn't do zip code, I did area. For the rentals, I did zip code, but for the flips, I did area. So if we need to verify, once we look at a property, I'll go and verify it with more detailed comps. And here, again, it identifies the ones with flip potential or less flip potential, less likely to have flip potential. This is another good thing to look at, your days on market. So this one, 85 days on market and has potential. That's a good one to look at because it's been overlooked potentially. Whereas this one here, 3 days, 0 days, 0 days, these may actually just be underlisted with an expectation that it'll sell much higher. Sometimes the listing agent will sell it low in order to gather attention to it, and then it sells way above asking price. So any of these low ones down here, this one here, maybe we look at these down here. Most of these should be good to look at. So there's definitely a few on here that we should be looking at, figuring out why it's not selling and see if they'll take offers less than asking price. They're probably more repairs than my $28 per square foot average that I have here. You know, your total return is not going to be reflective of what I have. This is just an estimate to give you an idea on potential. We have to run a better analysis once we identify the ones that you like and have potential. And that's about it. I hope that this is helpful. I can go over it more in detail with you in person. And what I'll do is I probably won't send you this spreadsheet because this is my proprietary information that I generated this spreadsheet. However, what I'll do is I'll highlight all of the properties that have the best potential, and then I'll send them to you. I've got all the ones that are highlighted with best potential. I'll highlight the MLS numbers, and there's a few here that are white that are not highlighted because they're close. You know, I don't want to miss them. So highlight. Then I go here to CBR MLS, and this will be all of the properties that have the best potential, and I can send you the link. You share the link or generate URL, and then I can send this to whoever wants it, and we can look at these together and further evaluate. Anyway, I hope that you found this information helpful. Give me a call, Chris Render, Hardesty Homes. Talk to you later. Bye.